So SS, I couldn't see the counter start, so I was just looking at staring awkwardly at the camera. Um, I've been tagged in by Kill Deer Survival, and apparently I've lost the ability to speak. On it's 3 questions. I'll link his video in the description. He's pretty laid back old boy. But first question: who got me into hunting? I've hunted a long time, and it was my brothers, my older brothers, that got me started thinking it was cool to turn animals into food. The brother just older than me is the one that actually, me and him went hunting together a lot. Is Anthony Wade. I actually still own one of his rifles. So, yeah, my brothers. There's my 2 oldest brothers got me a BB gun when I was little bitty. Shot the first creature I ever hunted successfully was a house sparrow. Broke my heart. I didn't understand what was going on when I was shooting at this thing. I'd practiced. I'd gotten really good with the BB gun. Yeah, I shot it, and then went in, told my mom what happened, and told her I didn't know what to do because, it had landed next to the nest. I shot it. It still had the worm. It was just in there trying to feed its babies. So it was a little rough on me. I think I was 9. And she told me not to worry about it. And I was like, well, Mom, I killed that bird and it just wanted to feed its baby. She goes, well, don't feel bad about killing something. Feel bad that you killed something for no reason. Just remember from now on, if you're going to shoot something, it has to be doing something to you, stealing from you, or you plan on eating it. And that's the way that's run. So, my family got me into hunting. My mom taught me out of quitting hunting at an early age. What was my best experience hunting? There's funniest, best, really good. Best was I was on a call hunt. Me and a friend my friend was invited and he got me a slot to a hunt on a huge deer lease down around Sonora. I actually got to go twice. It was an amazing place. But they were putting high fence up, and they were cleaning out their deer population, and they don't inside the high fence, the new high fence. They already had existing high fence. Inside what they were going to make new high fence in, they wanted no exotics. And long story short, the deal was you could take a cull buck, a doe, or a spike. And we were talking about audads. He said, well, there shouldn't be any audads left on the property, but if you see one, I would appreciate it if you shot it. Everybody else in that area, they charge like $2,500, $3,000 to go audad hunting. And long story short, I'm in the blind. I hadn't been in there maybe 5 minutes, and I see something move in the cedars to my left, and I can see the color picking up on the, and I'm like, oh man, there's a stupid cat, because the feeder went off. And, well, they had a feeder on the back of the deal, and the guys, because this is my second day out, and I hadn't seen anything. And the guys, as he's leaving, he turned on the feeder that's on the back of the truck. He said, I'll see if I can pull something in for you real quick. So he had said, he drives off. I see the movement, and then it moves again, so I actually look and focus on it. There is a huge aoudad ram standing in the edge of the cedars, watching the truck go up over the hill. And my heart jumps out of my chest. I'm like, oh man, I got instant buck fever. I didn't know what to do. Because from where it was approaching, it was going to be in brush. I was not going to get a clear shot. And it was alone. They usually don't run alone. So it was being very skittish. It felt to me like it took it about an hour to get out of the cedar brush. But in retrospect, it might have been 60 seconds. But in that 60 seconds, I'm pretty sure my heart beat about 500 times. And it was really loud, and I knew the stupid thing was going to hear it. Because my windows are closed. I've got to load my rifle without spooking the animal. I've got to open the window on the blind. Yeah, it was a blind hunt. Give you a break. I've got to get the gun up there on the rest without making any noise. And I pull all this off. And then I watch this thing walk. And it's coming out the far side of the feeder, because it's made a circle. It hasn't come straight across. It's made a circle in the brush. It's coming out on the far side away from the feeder, or from the blind on the other side of the feeder. It comes out of the trees at about 150 yards. When I got there, the first thing I did, I sighted the rifle in at 100. So, and I know this rifle. I know the fall, yada, yada, yada. So, get up there. Gets out in the clear. He steps out. The only thing that I couldn't see was his back legs. Everything else was in the clear from the brush. I focus in on him. I scan over him, and I actually put the gun down. I think he's too pretty to shoot. I didn't want to shoot him. He was so pretty. And then a little voice in the back of my head said, "You're never going to see another one of these. This is a once-in-a-lifetime deal." So I pulled it back up there, bow, and it took off running. I thought I missed it. I jack another one in the chamber. I get him in the sight, and I pull up, and right as I'm come across his body, and I'm fixing to go ahead and leap, because he's running now. He's running quarter and straight across in front of me. He's about 75 yards now to me, and right as I'm about to lead him and try to take another shot while he's running, I see a shot of lung blood come out. So I stop, and I watch him run right past the blind, disappear into the trees, and keep going. I'm like, how far can he run? From where I shot him to where I found him was nearly 200 yards. And he had run downhill into a ravine. He weighed close to 200 pounds and had to drag his butt up out of that hole by myself. I actually saw, after I got him up, situated, got back in the blind, I actually took a deer probably 45 minutes later. And then I just sat there and waited for 2.5 hours for them to come get me out of the blind. That was the best hunting experience I've ever had. I still have the guy's horns in my closet back there. I'm not a trophy hunter, but I kept those. It was a European mount. The neighbor's dog had it setting out somewhere. We were moving, in the process of moving. I went to go get it to put it on the trailer to go, and I couldn't find it. And when I found it, there was not much of the skull left. I didn't like the neighbor's dog much after that. Just saying. Anyway, so this one. What was my worst hunting experience? This one involves my children, my two sons, and myself, we had opportunity to go hunting as a family. I taught my kids to shoot, to hunt. We all ate our wild game. We enjoyed. I don't know if you could tell. Me and the boy like the boys like to sit in the blind, and me and the daughter. I mean, we let it go sit and wait for stuff and shoot the breeze and have a good time. It's a blast. It's fun. Anyway, where we went, we could each one get in the blind. My sons didn't have their own deer rifle. I had a deer rifle. The guy that was hosting us loaned my sons rifles. They were missing everything they were shooting at. Couldn't figure it out. Anyway, the next day, found out that an individual who I'm glad to say is in prison now, because he's a low-life human being, and I really hope he's playing reverse fudge factory with all the guys in there. He was a pedo. He deserves it. Anyway, he knew that it was me and my family going hunting, so nobody knew this about him at the time, but he's helping his boss load up the guns. He opens the cases and does 2 full twists on all the scopes. He threw them off 18 inches. The right to left, he threw them off a full 18 inches. So, my sons were not missing. The guns were out of whack. We fixed that. The one boy got a buck the next day, but I didn't think about it, and because I'd borrowed the man's rifle, because we were just, blah blah blah, I was talking about it, and he had a $3,500 rifle. I'd never shot something that nice. All I was out there, I wanted a doe. This big doe come in, I lined up for a neck shot. She was 55 yards out. He hadn't tried to shoot anything. He was it for a trophy hunt only. And I didn't try to sight his rifle in. The guy had done the same thing. When I pulled the trigger, I missed the doe. Now it was 18 inches off center, which should have plowed into the dirt. The only problem is another doe's fawn, little nubbin buck, was 10 yards further back than, and maybe 2 foot in front of the doe I was shooting at. So I took out its the slug meant for the doe, castrated and severed the 2 back legs on that little nubbin buck. And you've never heard anything until you've heard that, the sound that animal was making. So I had to run down, grab a flashlight, run down there, finish it, and deal with what I'd done. It cost me, because in that county you get 1 buck. I used my buck tag on it. That's the worst possible hunt I've ever gone on. And it taught me a lesson. All of my sons have their own deer rifles now. We don't even if we shot it yesterday, if we shot our rifle yesterday, and then we decide to go hunting tomorrow, we shoot the rifle to make sure that nobody's played with it. We will borrow a rifle to shoot with, but we go to the range before we go to the blind. We lock our rifles if we go to deer camp. We no longer trust anybody. The bad people out there, the chicken crap people out there, they're not behind bars. They're living out in public with us. That's just something you'd be aware of. There's for every 100 people out there, there's 99 decent folk. But then you've always got that one that'll ruin it for everybody. But tag 2 people. I'm going to tag Buzzard Roost and LS on this. Need to know who caught y'all into hunting. What was your best hunting experience? And what was your worst hunting experience? And you don't have to make it 17 minutes long like I did. This is me. I can't shut up. So, God bless y'all. That's alive? No doubt. Hunt something.